Timor Leste telah menerima lebih 10 triliun dolar Amerika dalam bentuk bantuan asing sejak negara ini merdeka dari Indonesia pada 2002. Tapi bekas presiden dan penerima Nobel Ramos Horta mengatakan kalau uang tersebut belum bisa berbuat banyak karena habis untuk membayar gaji karyawan internasional, biaya administrasi, dan impor. Meskipun negara ini menerima bantuan asing dalam jumlah besar, lebih dari separuh warga Timor tetap hidup di bawah garis kemiskinan. Rebecca Henschke bicara dengan Horta dalam Ubud International Writers Festival. Dia beralasan pembangunan sekarang menjadi prioritas pemerintah.
What we must do is to focus on what we can do to improve the lives of the people who have been waiting too long, to have simple things like clean water, electricity, a better road, better schools, better clinics. That's what we should focus on.
And who do you blame for that, Jose? A lot of people I've spoken to in East Timor are disillusioned with the East Timorese leadership. They feel disappointed that things haven't changed, young Timorese. And they do blame people like yourself and Shanana Guzman for not delivering that change that they were looking for.
Well, maybe in this regard you might have been talking to the wrong people, because if they are disillusioned with Shanana, they would not have elected him. He has a commanding majority in the parliament now, because people trust him.
But don't you accept that people have felt disappointed that not enough change has happened faster?
Oh, maybe, as if you heard my comments today, they should ask the question to the rich countries who supposedly helped us over the previous 10 years.
It's very interesting.
Where the money went didn't come to us because they would refuse to provide budget support. They were the ones who carry out their own development programs. You ask them, where were the roads they built? Where were the electricity, the clean water?
So you feel let down by the international community. The system at the moment is wrong.
No, in the past. Now everybody else, like us, we learned from the mistakes. The Australian side, very sensitive, very generous, putting more money.
But they could have done it differently.
In the past, 10 years ago, the World Bank could have done differently. Then they realized the mistakes because they did evaluation and not much change in spite of the so-called aid. But sometimes people tend to blame the Timorese. Sorry, the money didn't come to us. You ask the donors, don't ask me about it.
But this year we're going to see, or next year you said that we're going to see a very significant development in electricity?
By mid next year we will have a much more modern, efficient electricity than any country in Southeast Asia, with the exception maybe of Singapore.
Where's this power coming from?
Diesel, heavy fuel, 100% Timorese money. No loans, no grants.
You didn't think about renewable energy or environmentally friendly?
We are thinking about it. Hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years we can switch to gas. The system that we are installing can be switched off to wind and gas energy. But because we cannot wait for that, we still do not have access to clean gas. It will happen maybe in 5-10 years. We started with the cheapest, although allegedly the most pollutant. But the system we have in place has the best mechanisms of control, of filtration, of pollution of anywhere in the world. So that CO2 emissions are kept to lower than the World Bank standards in terms of emissions.
And then you might look at changing to renewable.
Yes, we have done the study already. We have commissioned a study. The study is ready, given to us. Now we are negotiating about the pipeline coming to Timor Leste or onshore gas, so that we can switch to gas.
And just finally, what about the international forces in Timor? That is a source of tension. When I visited there last, people do feel uneasy about them being there, but then there's a sense that they're needed. When would you like them out?
You seem like you always talk to the wrong people. Why, journalists always talk to the wrong people? I don't feel any tensions in the country between the Timorese and the UN, between the Timorese and Australian forces. Always the journalists finding tensions where they don't exist.
So you're happy for them to stay for another 10 years?
I'd be happy. They are brothers and sisters, but they also have their own families, their own relatives, their own country to go to. So we agreed they leave by December. They have done their job, their mission efficiently. We are eternally grateful to them, to everyone. But it's time for them to leave. And the UN, the international community, Australia cannot continue to shoulder the burden of helping Timor Leste. And we are proud to be alone.
Do you feel any concerns about the security situation, a repeat of what happened?
No concerns at all. Journalists like you, even those who look very innocent, harmless, welcome to come. No problem whatsoever. Thank you.
Toko-toko di Thailand Selatan banyak yang tutup pada hari Jumat. Ini dilakukan bukan supaya orang-orang Muslim bisa melakukan sembahyang Jumat, tapi karena pemilik toko takut akan serangan bom. Kepolisian mengatakan sedikitnya 6 orang tewas dan 40 lainnya luka-luka akibat ledakan bom dekat pasar di wilayah selatan Thailand pada Jumat petang bulan lalu. Sekarang banyak kota tampak seperti kota hantu di hari Jumat. Pemberontakan di Thailand Selatan telah menewaskan lebih 5.000 orang sejak muncul lagi pada 2004. Pemerintah Thailand mencoba menghentikan itu dengan kekuatan militer dan negosiasi, tapi belum ada hasilnya. Jurnalis senior Thailand, Pravit Rojanpruk dari harian The Nation mengatakan masalahnya adalah ketidakadilan.
To put it very simply, Thailand or Bangkok a century ago invaded and co-opted Patani. It was a rape. Let's put it this way. It was a rape of the people of Patani. And you know, in a marriage, if you're unhappy, you ought to have the right to divorce if you're not being treated nicely and somehow you're not happy. And this is a rape. And yet, the people there have to live their life, as we speak, under the emergency decree, in some parts under martial law. People are pretty much being treated like second-class citizens. And the Thai media don't seem to quite recognize it. They hardly use the word separatist. But the most often word used in Thai is Jon Thai, which could be translated into English as Southern goons. It's okay. If you're goons, you really have no ideology, right? I mean, you just want to rob. If you just think of them as goons, then you wouldn't see any ideological struggle. It is very sad. And majority of the Thai media do not support even, I would say, a moderate level of autonomy to the south, to Patani, and which is unfortunate. So that already about 2,500 deaths over the past 7 years, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
The rebels themselves, or those that are carrying out these attacks, seem to be fairly faceless for us here in Indonesia. Who are they? Did the media like yourself get a chance to talk to these people who are carrying out the attacks?
I mean, to be honest, it might be a good strategy from their point of view because there's no center, apparently. It's not really about whether we know the separatists or not and whether who they are or how many groups they are. But I think it would be most decent and proper for non-Thai Malay Muslims, which means the Thais who are not Muslims from the south, to support at least a measure of autonomy and freedom and democracy in the 3 southernmost provinces, and to try to treat them more equally, if not fully equally. And that is something we could do with or without knowing who are the separatists.
And Linlak Shinawatra has said that it was one of her 6 policy aims. Is she doing that? Is there any hope under her leadership that we would see change?
I'm not very hopeful at all. The army seems to have its own agenda and concerns in the south. We do have problems about smugglings of illicit goods across the Thai border from Malaysia. Also, probably the misuse of funds due to the violence by the security forces, which includes the army and as well as the police.
So they have a vested interest in the conflict there.
Yes, it's like USA would love to see more war, can sell more arms. That's good news for them. Unfortunately, it's good news for the media as well, but not to me. To me, it is a tragedy, and we hope that the Thai media, as well as other neighboring countries, could sort of send a clear signal that perhaps there are things that we can improve, even without granting independence to Patani.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.